Courtney Cox here with Marcus Omard, and it's time to talk soccer. The U.S. with a joint bid with Canada and Mexico to host the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Pretty interesting stuff, but let's get right into it. Why are they doing this as a joint bid and not just on their own?
Well, in short, politics. The United States isn't as popular as it once was for a number of reasons, and FIFA also changed the voting and how they decide who hosts the World Cup. Before it was the all-powerful 12-person executive committee, which is now the FIFA Council. Well, from 2026 and going forward, it's going to be every country that's going to be, they're going to have one country, one vote for the World Cup. So instead of just appealing to some people who may or may not be taking bribes, or you might have to pay off, you really have to get the majority of the world on your side. So I think having the United States go it alone might have been difficult, because the United States doesn't have the best reputation around the world, but having Canada and Mexico making it a true North American World Cup makes it a much better chance of it happening and being successful.
Well, when you look at these three countries together, do you think personally that this bid is going to be successful?
Slam dunk.
Slam dunk.
Yeah. It'll be the first 48-team World Cup, so it'll be 32 days or 30 days, 80 games, 48 teams. There are really only a small number of countries that have the infrastructure in terms of hotels, roads, airports, stadia of 50,000 people or more.
Right.
Only a number of countries can really stage an event of this size. So the United States could have done it by itself, but I think for political reasons, maybe joining forces with Canada and Mexico. I see games maybe happening in Mexico City and Guadalajara. Canada will be difficult because some of the biggest venues have artificial turf. So the way they've broken it down is that it'll be 60 games in the United States, 10 in Canada, 10 in Mexico, all the games from the quarterfinals on in the United States. So it'll be, for the most part, a majority United States World Cup. But it's just spreading the fun around and making it a little bit more of a global event. But I can't see any other countries really pulling it off.
No other countries really pulling it off, but any other countries you think that might put in a bid?
Well, for the bid, the United States, Canada, Mexico one is the first to announce that they will bid. They haven't formally bid. Europe and Asia are forbidden from bidding because they're hosting the World Cup in 2018 in Russia, in 2022 in Qatar. So it's down to either an oceanic country, which none of them are big enough to stage this size event, an African country, which the infrastructure may not exist. It was in South Africa in 2010, but I don't think any of the other countries in Africa can hold an event of this size. And South America is also in the running, but I have a feeling the Uruguay and Argentina want to bid for it in 2030 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the first World Cup, which they staged in Uruguay.
Well, interesting stuff. 2026 seems so far down the road. Who knows where we'll be in 2026? Hopefully still friends around each other.
Well, definitely watching the World Cup.
Yeah. Well, guys, you want to make sure to follow along with Marcus as all of this unfolds at MKOmard on Twitter, or myself at Cox Courtney. But make sure to keep it locked in right here at NESN.com. We've got you covered for FIFA World Cup, all your soccer needs.